From 12 ABY until 138 ABY, an organisation known as the Council of Moffs existed throughout the period in which the Imperial Remnant, the Fel Empire and Darth Krayt's Galactic Empire held various degrees of influence over the galaxy. In 12 ABY, the factions of the Galactic Empire came together in the form of the Imperial Remnant, and a governing body called the Council of Moffs was installed to prevent a single individual from ruling over the Imperial state. Although the title of Supreme Commander of the Imperial Fleet existed from the beginning, the Council of Moffs held the authority to instruct military action. Their authority prevented the Supreme Commander, who was Gilad Pellaeon, from making any large-scale decisions without the consensus of the Council. By 19 ABY, the Council consisted of 8 Moffs, including notable figures such as Moff Dizra and Moff Sander. However, by 28 ABY, Pellaeon knew matters worked better without disclosing every bit of information and intelligence to the Moffs, whose group members had changed to reduce to a mere 4. Although the Council managed to delay the Imperial Remnant from joining the Yuuzhan Vong War, Pellaeon eventually ordered the Imperial Remnant's introduction to the war against the Yuuzhan Vong with the Council's blessing, seeing it as an unavoidable formality. Between 40 ABY and 41 ABY, the Second Galactic Civil War saw the deaths of Gilad Pellaeon and Darth Caedus, and the end of the Imperial Remnant's support for the Galactic Alliance. This allowed the Council of Moffs to assume control over the Remnant for a short time. For the Imperial Remnant's involvement and supporting Darth Caedus in the Second Galactic Civil War, in which the Sith Lord was defeated, the Jedi Coalition proposed they either face a war crimes trial for their creation and deployment of the nanovirus, or agree to install the title of Head of State as the leader of the Imperial Remnant. The Moffs found themselves forced to agree to a coalition government with the Galactic Federation of Free Alliances to force another party, the Confederation, to give up their military force after their revolt in the war. Additionally, the Moffs reluctantly accepted a young Imperial known as Jagged Fel. With Fel as head of state, he could keep a tight rein on the devious Moffs, and in doing so allowed a stable peace settlement. Also, due to their coalition, the Moffs found command over their remnant sectors and fleets were dependent on the size of the territory the Remnant controlled at the time. Jagged Fel led the Imperial Remnant for the next few years, during which time the young leader survived assassination attempts by the power-hungry Moff Lysason and Admiral Natar Sidala in their attempts to seize power for themselves. In 44 ABY, public support for Darla had been strong enough to force Fel to call an election, in which Fel's support for Vitor Rig became the first elected head of state for the Imperial Remnant. However, in 45 ABY, with the Imperial Remnant gaining enough political strength, Jagged Fel assumed the title of Emperor and resurrected the Galactic Empire, otherwise known as the Fel Empire, in which the Council of Moffs still existed and remained an important part of government. The Fel Empire lasted under 3 members of the Fel dynasty from 44 ABY until 130 ABY, after the Sith Imperial War, when the last of the 3 emperors, Rohan Fel, was deposed and forced into exile by Darth Krayt, who founded his own Sith Empire on Coruscant. The Council of Moffs that existed on Coruscant pledged their allegiance to Darth Krayt and held some sympathy to the then fugitive Rohan Fel. Their meetings were held inside a conference chamber within the new Imperial Palace. The council consisted of just 6 powerful Moffs who controlled entire sectors of the galaxy as well as federal Imperial jurisdictions. By this time the group had installed a leader known as the High Moff. That figure was known as Morlish Veed, who also held the supreme responsibility as Grand Admiral of the Imperial military. The 5 other Moffs' positions were also known as Director of Imperial Intelligence, Diplomatic Corps, Imperial Mission, and the commanders of the Imperial Navy and Army. In the same order, these titles were held by Nina Calixt, the Chiss Felor, Conrad Russ, Rolf Yage, and Geist. As well as Darth Krayt, they also answered to the Sith Lords, in particular Darth Maladi and Darth Wylock, and by 137 ABY, if not earlier, the body was styled as the Moff High Council until 138 ABY, when the council was dissolved after the Imperial Civil War.